All right, let's see what we got here. Let me put my glasses on first. Oh, there you go. So now this looks like Sam sent me his serpentine belt tensioner, and it looks like an aluminum casting right here. And it looks like this aluminum casting needs a little bit TLC. Like this is supposed to go something like that in there, and of course it needs to hold under the tension of this ginormous spring that's in there. So let's see if we can degrease this and then weld it. So the machine we're going to weld this with today is the new HTP Revolution 2500. It's a true all-in-one MIG-TIG stick machine. Okay, so let's have a closer look at this. It's a pretty clean, cracked surface. At least here on the bottom it is. The side is a little bit frayed out, not too much. The brake is kind of clean. It fits pretty nice on the inside. And on the outside is where I'm going to do most of my beveling. So I'm going to chamfer from the outside as much as I can, and then get a 90 or 100% weld from the outside. I'm going to try not to weld the inside too much, so I don't have to go in there and remachine the inside. If I would have to, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but I think we're going to be good just welding it from the outside. So looking at the joint prep here, I left a tiny bit there for alignment, let's say. I may have to go in there afterwards and open this up once the rest is kind of in place. There's plenty of room here. There's plenty of room there. And I will have to touch the inside up. I will have to touch the inside up here a little bit, unfortunately. I mean, that's just how life is. That side doesn't look bad at all. Now we'll have to find a way to clamp it and to weld it. There. That's a perfect clamp right there. So here I'm using the new HTP Revolution 2500. That machine is, I have a special connection to that machine. I started 2 years ago when the page was empty, totally blank, to write down specs for my dream machine. A full capable AC/DC TIG machine. Of course, with high frequency start and waveforms on the AC side and what have you. MIG and pulse MIG machine, stick and pulse stick, runs on 110 or 220. This is like a whole fab shop in the back of your Honda Civic. And this thing amazes every time. This jack of all trades, master of none really does not appeal here, or apply here more so. It's a full-blown unit with hardware of both units in it, and it just amazes the way how it welds and what it does. And I'm using Rockmount Neptune aluminum filler rod here for unknown grades of aluminum and castings. It helps with cleaning up the weld joint and pulling some of that contamination out as well.
There, now it can't fall.
So initially here the arc shot angle is not ideal, but you can kind of see the puddle forming right there on the lower half and then on the upper half, and I'm keeping the filler rod out of it. Make sure your puddle is firmly established, then give it a couple little dabs. This is 3/32 diameter filler, Rockmount Neptune, and it does a really good job helping to pull the contaminants out of the material. On the side there we have very little to no pinholes or inclusions. So right here we're getting the puddle established, and you can see right away how it's like popping and how the crud out of the casting is like coming up to the surface. And of course right there that dip of the filler rod didn't really help much, but the puddle was going good, so I decided to keep going and now grind the tungsten as soon as I stop the weld. And of course a lot of guys try to be lazy about this. You know what? There's welders and there's grinders, and you know, one day I'm more a welder and one day I'm more a grinder. And tungsten grinding, that's all part of learning how to TIG weld properly. It's just what you have to do. I left it in here in real speed. It shows you it takes about 57 seconds to do the whole thing between removing the tungsten, sharpening the tungsten, and put it back in. Take your time. Don't sacrifice weld quality over a little bit laziness. Now, I don't know how many of you guys want to see this. Everybody's always complaining about, no, don't do the music, don't do the music. I want to hear the welding machine. Don't fast forward everything. So here comes 4.5 minutes of boring, watching me weld, no arc shots. This is like the real time it actually took, like arc on time, to weld this part up basically. Plus whatever you've seen before. So let's call this a total of like maybe 6 or 7 minutes weld time. The rest is all prep and grind and tungsten grind and whatever. And everybody who says, it's just a little crack, you know, it's like a 2-minute job. I had 45 minutes of video footage recorded here. And I mean, see for yourself. If you think it's a 2-minute job, take this 2-minute job. Charge a guy $10 for it. now I'm not a real machinist, so I'm going to fast forward through a little bit of the machining. You know, I tried to do the best with the equipment that I had, and then I ground the rest in by hand, and you'll see the results are acceptable. Now here is a 40 grit, 1-inch diameter, what I would consider a bore flapper, mounted on a drill, 1200 or 1500 RPM, like a handheld battery powered drill. And this is just a testimonial how hard and how tough this Rockmount Neptune is. You see, it wipes that thing out in like no time, and I have to switch to a carbide insert to really be able to machine this stuff away.
So this is maybe not the very prettiest job I've ever done on anything. This was a really dirty casting that had a lot of stuff coming out as you welded on it. You see a couple small pinholes right here, which are not that big of a deal. They're kind of common for a casting like this. Then you see a few bigger ones right over there. And the issue with those guys up here is I may just go end this video here and just run another grinding wheel, hard wheel through it, gouge it out some more, get the dirt out of the casting and do another pass and weld it up. All overall, this is probably a functional part already. Strength is restored, shape is restored. Nothing says that this part would not function.